Welcome to Hidden Wisdom Academy Biology, your daily guide for NEET 2026 biology revision. This is episode 1, and we begin with the most fundamental question of all: what is living? Let's explore the characteristics that define life according to biology and NEET. When you look at a tree, a puppy, or even a human being, you can immediately tell they're alive. But what exactly makes them living? In biology, this question is more than philosophical, it's scientific. The living world is defined by certain characteristics. These include growth, reproduction, metabolism, and consciousness. But here's the catch: not all of these apply equally to every living being. That's why we need to study them one by one to truly understand what life means in biology, and how NEET wants you to interpret it. Let me ask a few questions. Do all living things grow? And do all reproduce? Comment your answer. Growth is often the first thing that comes to mind when we think of life. A plant growing taller, or a baby becoming an adult, these are all signs of life. In biological terms, growth refers to an increase in mass and number of cells. It occurs through cell division, especially in multicellular organisms. However, there's an important distinction. Non-living things can also show increase in size. For example, mountains or crystals grow by accumulation of material. But their growth is external, not due to metabolism. Keep this in mind, because NEET loves exceptions. One more question: growth is not a defining feature. Why? Comment your answer. Reproduction is the process by which living organisms produce their offspring. It can be asexual, like in bacteria or amoeba, or sexual, like in most animals and plants. In unicellular organisms, reproduction and growth are often the same: one cell divides to form two. But here's a critical point: not all living organisms reproduce. Mules, worker bees, and even infertile human couples are living, yet they don't reproduce. So, reproduction, while an important characteristic, is also not a defining feature of life. NEET often asks about these exceptions, so make sure you remember them. One more question: is reproduction essential to define life? Think about the exceptions. Metabolism is the sum total of all chemical reactions that take place in a living organism. These reactions are divided into two types: anabolic reactions, which build up molecules, and catabolic reactions, which break them down. Every living cell, whether it's in a bacterium or a human, performs metabolism to sustain life. Interestingly, even though isolated metabolic reactions can occur in test tubes, this doesn't mean those systems are alive. Only when these reactions happen within a structured and regulated biological system do we consider it life. That's why metabolism is a defining property of all living organisms. No exceptions: if there's metabolism, there's life. Consciousness is the ability to sense our surroundings and respond to them. Whether it's a plant bending towards sunlight, or a person pulling their hand away from a hot surface, these are conscious responses. All living organisms have some form of awareness. Even simple organisms like bacteria move toward nutrients or away from harm. Humans, however, are not only aware of their environment but are also self-aware. We can think, reflect, and question our existence. This ability to respond to stimuli is seen only in living beings. No non-living object, no matter how complex, shows this property. That's why consciousness is considered the most unique and defining feature of life. Let's summarize what we've learned. Living organisms show growth, not just in size but also by increasing in number. They can reproduce, ensuring the continuity of their species. They exhibit metabolism, the chemical engine that drives every function of life. And most importantly, they possess consciousness, the ability to sense and respond to the environment. These four properties, growth, reproduction, metabolism, and consciousness, are what define life. Remember, no non-living object can exhibit all these features together. These points are extremely important for your NEET preparation. Thank you for joining us today on Hidden Wisdom Academy Biology. We've completed Episode 1, What is Living? If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and check the links in the description for notes, daily MCQs, and bio tricks. Join us tomorrow as we continue our journey into biodiversity. Until then, stay curious, stay prepared, and keep learning with Hidden Wisdom Academy Biology. See you in the next episode.